bumps. Good times. Easy credit revolves. Good times. Scratching and surviving. Good times. Hanging in the giant. Good times. Ain't we lucky we got 'em? Do 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 do. Good times. Yeah. I can't wait. What's up? Welcome back, y'all. This is another episode of Millennial Therapy. This is a brand new podcast curated for millennials.
By millennials.
How y'all doing? Oh my gosh, we are continuing on this movement of celebrating millennials. And oh my gosh, we are back with more content and more fun conversations. How you feeling about this?
I'm feeling good. How are y'all feeling?
That's what's important, because y'all right there just watching us. Y'all at work and stuff. You know you're supposed to be working. And you're not working right now.
Somebody on their way in the car right now getting distracted.
But make sure you know what you're doing, because the cameras in the office be watching. That's all I'm going to say. Millennials know just what I said.
Just what I said.
They know just what I said. But, oh my goodness, y'all, welcome back. This is episode 3. We are still going, and we are still celebrating us millennials and all our culture, the fun, the excitement, all of the things that we went through, experienced, and all the fun we had. Like, literally, we had so much tradition and just pizzazz, good music, television, everything. We're going to cover it all.
Cover it all.
Right here on Millennial Therapy.
So glad y'all could join us.
So glad. Oh my goodness. All right. So look, we're just going.
We're going to get right into it.
We're going to dive right in. So if you've been following thus far and you have seen episodes 1 and 2, we done already did the breakdown of what you can expect. Okay. And
tap into the group chat quickly.
It's time for the group chat. Millennials. This is for us.
Tap into the group chat.
Okay. So this is for us.
Today's episode is called School Days.
Now, because I know somebody out there in Generation X going to be like, no, you didn't. Okay.
They're going to be like, what?
No, you didn't. They're going to be like, oh, hold on. Not you took our stuff. Right. So, Generation X, we are doing our version of School Days. Anybody that has not seen the movie School Days, it was a movie, I believe it was directed, produced by Spike Lee.
In the 80s.
In the 80s. It gave culture on the college life in the 80s. So, we decided to spin that around and do the Y2K edition. It's about to be fun. Give them a little bit of a itinerary of what we mean by Y2K edition and what we'll be talking about.
So the School Days of Y2K edition is basically going to be a rundown on how we came up on school. What was your morning routine? You know, how did you get prepared for your day as a child growing up in school, right? For instance, my thing was getting up in the morning, of course, getting showered, ready, all of the great things, picking out my outfit. Well, I didn't have to pick out my outfit. We had uniforms.
What a time that was. Ugh.
Golly. Picking out our uniforms, getting that ready, you know, putting on a show, whatever it was that would get your day started, right? For me, it would be that BET, putting on my little music. Yeah, it was. What? Music videos all the way through, VH1, all those.
I always thought for a lot of us, it was just cartoons.
I mean, it was definitely the cartoons. I mean, it jumped back and forth for me. Yeah. Like, I think it was a little bit of both. Like, I did cartoons. There was this one show. Of course, what was the one show? Oh my God. Recess. Loved Recess. Yes. Proud Family. All of the great things that would be going in the morning, of course. But I loved the music videos. That was my
So here's a funny thing. So my actual morning routine, it was kind of weird. I actually used the radio as my morning routine.
This was definitely a thing.
That was a big thing. I'm not going to
negate that at all.
So I guess I've always been considered like an old soul, because for me, I loved hearing the morning shows, the radio shows. Shout out to Power 99 FM in Philly. Of course, y'all know the station.
Hello.
But what was the show? It was the Sam Silk morning show.
Oh, Sam Silk.
Ain't nobody hotter. Sam Silk. Y'all know nothing about that. I know some of y'all probably look at the camera like, ooh. But that's
y'all young generation. Show. That's the young folks that don't know nothing about Sam Silk. That's okay.
Can I interrupt right quick? Speaking of the young folk, now I have one of my good engineers here, and I'm not gonna poke too much, girl, because you right on the perfect spectrum of.
She's at the cusp.
You at the perfect cusp
right
of
at the
Gen
cusp.
Z. But do you know I had a little 25-year-old try me today as a Gen Z. So he looked at a preview of our episode that's coming up, episode 1. I hope you watched it. But I said something like, I was like, listen, I just feel that we were the last best generation. That's just how I feel.
What that boy say?
He gonna say, you know what? I'm gonna pull up the actual document. The DM.
That man said something of the nature of
That's right, Nasir. Hello, Rashid. I'm putting you out there.
I don't know. That ain't my DM.
Actually, Gen Z is the last best. We shared a whole life with y'all, damn near. Can't wait to watch this. So you know what I said? Do you know what I said? I said, you know what? Let me confuse you right quick. Circuit City. Hey, okay. That's why I said,
you know what you're talking about.
Good. Look here. I said Circuit City. Tell me. I said, what year? Circuit City. And
what year did Destiny's Child break up?
Destiny's Child broke up for the last time, if we really want to be correct, after Destiny Fulfilled. They had the #1 album with the rest of Cater to You and everybody on it and Check Up on It with everybody.
Run it up. Thank you. Run it up.
That had to be about 2007.
Yeah! My girl, right on the nail.
My girl is doing it, okay?
Yeah, Nasir, what you got to say to that, buddy?
Okay. At the end of the day, when Destiny's Child was breaking up, you was still in your drawers. You just learned how to not piss in your drawers, young man.
Talking about something you shared a whole life. Yeah, you ain't shared nothing but a French fry and a drink with your sibling. That's what you shared. Talking about you shared with us. Yeah, whatever. I couldn't believe you did that.
That's a little diabolical. But you was diabolical for trying it. So, moving on.
I said, let me try you real quick. What's Circuit City? And don't Google it. He hit me back with, wow, you really took it there. Yeah. He was like, I don't care. I'm still standing on what I said.
And you can.
That just means he wasn't in grown folk business.
Hello.
I love her. Boom.
Yeah.
Blow up the room. Hello. That was good.
I was in grown folk business.
Grown folk, okay?
And I think that's something that made, I'm going to get back on topic, girl. I'm sorry. But I think that's something that made us as millennials, our upbringing, and even on the cusp of Gen Z, I think that's what made growing up fun, is that we kind of were ahead of our time because of the adult things we saw. Like, come on now. We all have been there. We saw those movies we wasn't supposed to watch.
Hello.
Those TV shows. Jerry.
I was just about to say, do you remember lying to your mother, being home from school for the day, lying to your mother and sneaking and watching Jerry Springer or watching Maury? Oh, it was a good time.
It was.
Oh, you couldn't tell me nothing. Oh my gosh. And of course you had to turn it down because you know, they used to say some things on there that just was inappropriate for a child. But
especially those episodes of Maury when it was like one woman that bring like 13 men. Like, look, one of you was the daddy. I used to be sitting there so young, like, you can do that?
You can do that?
With 13 people? And be confused on who's the father of your child? Oh, wow. Well,
oh my gosh, those were the best episodes though. That you are not the father. They would run off the stage and they would fall out. It was a good time. It was such a good time.
Oh my gosh. Okay, let me get back to, because see, I told you not to say, I'm coming for you. I'm putting it out there.
He did say it.
It's out there. I ain't gonna put your last name out there though. I'm good. I ain't gonna do that to you.
Because we could.
You keep trying me. Maybe next episode I will. But my morning routine was the radio. So the Sam Silk morning show was a popular morning show when I was coming up. one segment that they had every morning, and I had to hear it when I was getting ready for school, was the Carmen calls.
Carmen prank calls.
Hola, my name is Carmen.
I believe we were disconnected.
I believe you were disconnected. Stop yelling at me. Oh my gosh. Carmen's prank calls.
Carmen was a good time.
I couldn't leave the house and make sure that I get my day started until I heard Carmen's prank calls.
Yeah.
Last little morning routine, and my mom's going to crack up when she sees this. Y'all, I even incorporated a little bit of church in my morning routine. Dr. Juanita Bynum.
Oh my
I don't know if some of y'all may know who that is, but
the saved ones would know.
My God. Yeah, thank you.
The saints of the evening would know. Hallelujah.
Miss Engineer's going to be on one of these episodes because I love this. See, that's what I'm talking about. We used to watch Dr. I literally would get the word. She'd be like, and God said, early in the morning.
She would do what?
And God said, oh my goodness, she was so powerful.
No, she was definitely a powerful girl. No, Juanita was that girl. I don't care. First off, Juanita, I don't know how you did it. Listening to Juanita in the morning, she be yelling and screaming and all the great things. You need to be midday listening to Juanita. But,
Yeah, 7 a.m. with her. Say yes!
I would get irritated. Wow. I'd be like, I love you. God is good, but shut up.
Oh! You're a little too loud. It's early.
You're a little too loud, ma'am.
But that was my morning routine. So I think at times there were certain shows that I would kind of tune into. Like, I remember... there was this guy, his name was John. I won't put his full name out there, but I used to go to his house. This is when I went to Austin Meehan for middle school.
Yeah.
And
shout out to Austin Meehan.
Austin Meehan. Y'all ain't did no more. Y'all just a pillar of grass.
A pillar of grass, but God bless you.
With bunnies. But you were a good school. Nonetheless. But I used to go walk to his house because up in the Northeast, he only was like a 10-minute, 12-minute walk. And his dad used to take us to school.
Yeah.
So I would go there and they would all be kind of like getting ready and all that stuff. And when we would sit there waiting for everybody to be done, because it was him, his little brother, his dad be getting ready, we would be in the living room. Me and John would be watching Saved by the Bell.
Oh, such a good show. Oh my gosh. If you know, you know.
Yeah.
Saved by the Bell was equivalent to, not equivalent, but it was just as good as like Full House. You know that show that's just so random that you just love to watch? Don't you make that face. Because
Full House was a good show, but when I tell you that theme song is just something that it could irritate your whole day.
You look everywhere, cause my heart
is your heart and
the little Mary Kate and Ashley, they look like, ooh, never mind.
Ooh.
Anyway,
remember the Lord on this one.
Remember the Lord. Okay, no, Full House was such a good show, but Saved by the Bell was a good time. It was such a good time.
That was a good time.
It was like a different world. Just not as good as this different world.
Yeah, if we're being honest. But iconic show that it was. And it's one of those things. This is why I always gotta show more respect to Generation X.
Yeah.
Because unlike what Nasir said, we definitely, as millennials, we shared a lot from Generation X. So when you think about it, a lot of shows like Sanford and Son,
Cheers.
Good Times, Cheers.
Good
Good time, you need a payment.
I forgot the words.
Keeping your head above water, making a way when you can. Temporary layoffs, good times, easy credit rebounds, good times, scratching and surviving, good times, hanging in the giant, good times. Ain't we lucky we got 'em? Do 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 do. Good times. Yeah.
I can't with him.
The Bible says, "Show yourself approved."
Show yourself approved.
Amen.
Okay.
Oh my gosh.
Good Times was such a good show.
That was a good show. All right.
First off, real quick, Good Times was very depressing. I don't care what nobody says.
James, you're laid off.
And let's talk about how James was always laid off. James never had a job. He could never keep a job. Florida stayed with him though.
Lord, and with JJ, he just had a dream for his paintings every season. I'm like, JJ, you can paint. JJ? You're talented, but
I forgot the daughter's name. What was the daughter's name?
Thelma.
She was a good time. And Michael, he was smart. But JJ,
was.
he was touched.
He was.
that JJ was touched. He was. But God bless him.
And of course, the Florida, the mom. I know. I said I would keep my language clean on here. But if y'all saw the scene, y'all know the scene.
If you know, you know.
No, okay. Bump being clean. How about the scene in there when Janet Jackson played Penny?
Oh, when she got burned with the iron.
Oh, that iron scene messes me up every time. You make me upset, Penny. And you know what happens to children when they make their parents upset.
Oh, no, Mama, no.
And she she took she tried to run to the door and it was locked. She said, I locked it. I knew that would be the first place she would try to run.
Why is she so calm, ready to burn her child? That is just so diabolical. Like, you was so wrong. Getting ready. You thought of this. You prepared for this. To say, all right, when I'm done, you was sickening. Why would you burn your daughter like that? But neither here or there.
Neither here or there, right? But what a good show that was.
Such a good show,
Amen. Yeah. All right, so moving on in this segment, we got a few little things we going through. So we went through the morning routine. Let's talk about Classroom Chronicles. Of course, every morning in class, one thing that, I'm like, look, don't get me wrong. I'm grateful for the country I live in. I'm grateful to be here. I'm grateful to be a U.S. citizen. But do we got to start every daggone morning with our hands on our heart and doing that daggone pledge of allegiance to the flag?
They don't even do that now. Huh?
Are you kidding me?
No, they do not. They do not do that. There is no such thing as the Pledge of Allegiance. There's no such thing as the Star Spangled Banner. That is crazy. What? Okay? Because we had to do that every solitary morning.
Every single day.
Every day. Okay? If we went into the auditorium, if there was an announcement that we had to do, we had to say the Star Spangled Banner. Can you imagine?
Oh my gosh. Like, just imagine, y'all at home, millennials, like, what that was. You had to come in, okay, all right, everybody settle down. I'll wait.
Remember they used to flash the lights? Oh my God. Hello. I will wait. Girl, what was flashing the light gonna do? But
that is hilarious.
They definitely used to do that.
But y'all know just what that was like. It was like, here we go. And you just knew everybody had to stand on their feet. Hand on your heart. I pledge allegiance to the flag.
We will not we would not do that.
We're not doing that whole thing.
Not the whole thing. But you get the point.
We got our diplomas and we paid our dues. So we don't need to repeat that.
Years ago. Huh?
The worst is when you got that passionate teacher that really loved the country more than you did, and she saw that you wasn't saying it, and she could notice she
put your hand above your heart. Right hand.
The best is when she would be saying, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty, and she would look at you with that death stare.
Hard. She would stare with you down.
Yep, and you like, detention.
Because you didn't recite it with you. Recite it with everybody else. Sickening.
Okay? Oh, here's a good class from Chronicle. Do you know what used to excite me so much?
What?
Early dismissal.
And when they would let you out by 12?
Are you kidding me? Shout out to my mom. Hey, Mom, let me tell you something. She was very good.
On the early dismissal?
Oh, her and my Aunt Nikki, they were so good.
Literally, I had early dismissal when I had to have early dismissal. It was never like I just feel like taking my son out. No.
My mom was good for that. Listen, there were times when she would do early dismissal and I'm thinking, maybe it's for something... Like, I got to go to an appointment or I have to, I just figured it had something to do with an itinerary in my day.
Yeah.
This woman would come and be like, oh, son, well, we going out to eat. We going to the Chinese buffet. We about to go have us a little time. And I used to be like,
a word?
And I wouldn't even tell her, today was a quiz, and it was a final quiz. I wouldn't even say nothing. I'd just be like, to the buffet.
To the buffet. Hey, listen, you ain't saying nothing to me. We gonna eat good today, actually.
Oh, I loved it. Oh my gosh. So you knew when you were getting an early dismissal when you would be just doing your schoolwork and stuff. You see the teacher go to the phone. And yup. So she goes to the phone. Mrs. Party's room. Baby, when them pair of eyes stare at you just like this. When she would do this. Yeah, sure. Oh, yes, he's here.
She used to do what?
Oh, yes, he's here. Oh, yes, I'll send them down shortly. All righty. Bye-bye. When them eyes would lock in, I'd be like, come on, say it, girl, say it, girl, say it, girl, say it, girl, say it, girl. And she would go in and say it. She'd be like, all right, Mr. Moore, there was a call down at the front office.
Here I go.
I'm like, you ain't even got to finish your sentence. All right. Y'all be good.
Have fun with the quiz.
Remember, you got to get an A.
You got to get an A, okay?
I be talking about
I will take mine next week. Thanks.
Okay. You know what's saying? I would never even still study anyway.
Never
knowing
study.
that I had to come back and go do that quiz.
First off, I'll be very honest. I don't know how I made it into high school. I'm going to be very honest. Faked my way to the top. I'm going to be very true. Okay.
We faked our way to the top, round and around.
Round and around. No, faked it. Okay. We thank the Lord because don't know how I made it, but we thank God for pushing us through. Amen.
Thank God for favor. Okay.
Yeah, no, for real.
And okay, let's give. Well, I didn't give you what, or you give us one. A Classroom Chronicles, something you can think of.
Okay, honestly, I think my Classroom Chronicles, a moment that I truly hated, it was them PSSAs. Y'all remember getting to school real early? They had them little crates with all of your breakfast in there.
Hey,
wait a minute. Okay.
Now,
okay.
millennials.
Everybody who knows.
Anybody? You heard that. Okay, so maybe the test was full of crap, but that crate, you look forward to that crate at 7:30 a.m. every day.
That super donut. Hiya. Okay, and you would get that strawberry milk. Okay, it would do you right. 7 a.m. Do you hear me? You would be ready and you wouldn't be ready and prepared, but you would be full and ready for your test.
It took a lot of dedication to get to the weight that I am today. And let me tell you right now, Super Donut, you are powerful. I ain't even got nothing bad to say.
I think they still sell them.
They still sell them. You can get them in a box. You get like 30 of them in a box.
I think it's like $40 a case or something like that.
I haven't bought it yet. And see, I'm very like, what's that word? Contradicting or just I can't think of it, but it's like I'll spend $30, $40 on like 2 big meals and eat them both in one sitting. But $40, I'll be like, but for $30 donuts, that's terrible. That's just a little too fat. Like, that's just too much.
That's a little too bad.
That's just, I think that's a lot. Like, ain't that so
Hey, listen, one day I'm going to get them for real, and I'm going to make that thing last because them donuts was...
But like you said...
Warm that thing up just a little bit.
I used to come in with my little drawstring bag.
Yeah, and be prepared.
I used to
let them teachers say that I could take that thing home.
Most times teachers said that too. They did not care. They was
care.
like, oh yeah.
Because what was they going to do with it?
They didn't care. Okay. I said, oh, you don't care? Well, I do.
I
so
do.
1, 2,
I'll go ahead and take
4.
that. And I'll have it for home and probably bring it back for breakfast tomorrow. Probably.
Oh my gosh. But what you said though, that is very true. The PSSA testing.
Such a stressful time. Only because you didn't, especially like myself, I was not, I didn't study or anything. So
At all.
At all. But it was such a pivotal time because once they say, and I hated it because they never gave you warning that the PSSAs was, well, sometimes they did, but for the most part, the school I was in, they never gave you warning. All right, it would be Friday, 2:50 p.m. You getting ready to get off. They'd be like, all right, PSSAs is on Monday. What?
Annoying. What I hated is that it took the majority of your day.
Yeah, no, seriously.
Oh my gosh.
I mean, your whole day is wasted.
To the bathroom with the class, you come back to the PSSA. Like, I was like, this is ridiculous.
I hated the PSSA. I could not do it.
I hated the PSSA. I hated the benchmarks. Remember the benchmark test? Now, thankfully, that wasn't an all-day skill, but it was still something.
It was just annoying. Any test. I'm not here for the tests. At all. At all. Hated the test as a kid. No, for real.
Oh, all right. Now, come on now. We got to pass through to our favorite one. Lunchtime Legends, baby. Let me tell you something, okay? Like I said, a lot of things have incorporated into the weight that I carry on my body today.
Let me tell you something.
Let me speak to you right here. How you doing? I have incorporated a lot of things on my chart, my food chart, and one was a numeric code that unlocked everything at lunchtime. Ladies and gentlemen, millennials, you know what I'm talking about.
You better
when I come up with this. Okay?
You better.
You remember that lunch code that you had to put in and punch in, and they slide your lunch right on just like that. Now, elementary school, I didn't do that. Yeah. Elementary school, but it started middle school and for high school. And do you know?
Yeah.
At 31 years of age, I still remember that code.
Yeah, I don't. Okay. Once I graduated, that was it. Okay. I don't remember nothing. Okay. And I'm okay with that. All I do know is I punched that code in to get that cheese stuffed pizza. Oh.
I was gonna say before you continued, I'm like, that code is actually making me hungry. That's how I know there's power in that code. I'm actually kind of hungry.
First off, do you remember when we got to high school and they started to get real bougie with the salads and all of the great things? Because back then it was just lasagna and pizza and just the typical things.
That's really all you cared about.
Hot foods, right?
You want to know what got on my nerves at lunch? Okay. This what got on my nerves before they started upgrading and giving us better lunch. Mm-hmm. Them daggone chicken nuggets used to piss me off. It would be Wendy's crispy at the top and damp at the bottom. What message are you sending off?
Microwaved. Okay.
It's like you get gourmet at the top and penitentiary at the bottom. Correctional facility nuggets at the bottom. They were disgusting.
It was definitely disgusting. They used to be real damp and...
Oh my gosh.
I turn them on to both sides. Please. Toast them on both sides. Y'all just put them in the microwave and said, all right, the kids will be happy. No.
And we never were. Ever.
Never were. But one thing about it and two things for sure, I'm going to bring it again. Okay, for the people that didn't hear, I loved the pizza with the cheese stuffed. That cheese stuffed pizza was different.
Baby.
Huh? Okay?
Oh,
that
what a
cheese
time
stuffed
that
pizza was so different.
And how about the lunch aides that knew that you were going to be a big girl later on in life and said, come on back for seconds.
They definitely would let you have
and never said no and gave you an attitude. Mm-hmm. Okay. And you didn't even have to type your number in again.
No, you didn't.
They would just come back up. I had some lunch aides that loved me. So remember in high school? So, okay, from my Lincoln family, shout out to everybody that went to Abraham Lincoln High School.
The old one.
The old one and then into the new one. Y'all remember that? Millennials, follow us.
New ones was cute, but old Lincoln, if you know, you know.
But remember, the new Lincoln, the new building that they built, this was when our lunch really started to come
That's when
up.
It started to come up. No, for real.
That's when we got the wraps, and that's when we got the better salads. We got the better pizza.
First off, I don't remember that young man's name. It was a man that worked there. I don't remember his name, golly. But do you remember that man who used to really hook our hoagies or our wraps up?
His nickname for me was Extra Mayo.
Yeah, because Dom always used extra mayo.
Because I always ask for extra mayo. Don't you laugh at me. But he used to call me Extra Mayo.
Always.
Every time, y'all, listen, I would come and I would be like, excuse me.
No, Dom used to bump people out the way.
I'm like, girl, yeah, say something. Yeah, excuse me. And get to the front of the line. And he would see me, he'd be like, Extra Mayo, what's going on? He would start my rap, and I remember he would go.
He would do what?
He would go of mayonnaise on that daggone spatula, and then he would just smack it on.
And spread.
And I would just sit there and look at it like, oh my Lord, yes. Oh my gosh. That was my favorite part of lunch.
That was such a good time. And for me, it was the salads. I don't know what it was in that Caesar dressing that they had.
Oh.
It was the Caesar dressing.
And the cookies.
Oh my gosh. They used to bake them things fresh every day, y'all.
That could really mess up the rest of your day.
I mean, I'm not thinking about after lunch. I'm literally having itis. Not thinking about.
If you find out that them cookies is sold out and they ain't got no more, you'd be like, oh,
pissed. Oh my gosh.
Don't piss me off. Go back to class?
Don't piss me off. Home. I mean, I literally would catch an attitude knowing them cookies was gone.
Oh my gosh.
Oh my gosh.
All right, and lastly, recess and gym. Lord have mercy.
So, recess was really for real. When I got into like middle school, recess was not a thing. I mean, when we got to Meehan, it was not a thing.
It wasn't a thing anymore. I think it was like
mostly like elementary school.
Yeah,
but it was such a good time. I mean, people used to be double dutching all through. You know,
what I loved is when it would rain. Like if it would rain or be like bad weather.
Oh, they would put us in the auditorium, and we would watch movies, all kinds of things. It was such a good time. Aww.
So that was always fun. And recess, I don't know. It kind of was like a continuous of showing you who actually liked you and you actually didn't.
Yeah, because it's either you was with your people or you wasn't. You was just alone.
Or you was coming out there like, so who I'm gonna tap on their shoulder?
I've seen a few people just sitting out there reading books. because they ain't really had no friends.
Talking to their imaginary friends. I've seen it.
It's definitely a thing. Thankfully, I've had my people that I was able to hang out with.
Yeah.
We thank the Lord. But, recess was definitely a moment.
I hated it though, because that's when it started to tap in a little bit on the whole subject of feeling good about yourself, validation and stuff like that, because a lot of times you would do like comparison. You would look at your friend group and you would look at the friend group that looked like it was more popular, more popping. And then you would just look at like, oh, we're the losers. And, they don't respect us.
Yeah.
We don't mean anything.
Kids is mean.
And talk about us today, baby. In your 30s, you want to know what's hilarious? The mindsets of what you had when you was younger. Oh, you don't have that no more. Who can? Yeah, I rerun the same outfits every week. Who gonna fight me? Who gonna fight me? I ain't got no shame in my game.
What's the problem? Are we gonna fight or
let's have a talk?
I don't know. My rent is due next month. I don't know. I don't. Yeah. Anyway. Don't piss me off.
Tell the truth.
Don't piss me off.
Podcast. Okay.
Listen.
Now let's get in really quick before we get into our pocket therapy after school vibes. I got to cover this just for a little bit.
Absolutely.
Real quick.
First off,
come on.
First thing I did when I got home, didn't care about homework. Don't care what you say. I know there's people out there that really cared about all of, making sure they got their work done before the, yeah.
And y'all probably was expecting that was going to be the top thing we say. Look, when we got home,
that kid.
We made sure to do our homework.
Not that kid at all. I used to throw my bag to the side, okay? Got in the house and cut the TV on, okay? We watching Girlfriends. We watching reruns of Judge Judy, okay? We watching Parkers. We're watching all of the great things, okay?
I used to love it. And it was like in an order. So when you did actually feel like doing your homework on certain days.
When you did.
Feels so good to get that off. Get that monkey off my back, because I was trying to be fake in school with it.
I didn't care about homework. Last thing on my mind. Matter of fact, I was a procrastinator with homework. That was the very last thing I'm doing in my day. Okay?
You know what I would do?
Or I'd be doing it on my way to school.
Yeah. On my way to school, I would get it in, baby, right in the backseat, wherever I was. Or at the house, like when I finish getting ready, I'm like, let me hurry.
And just color it in, because 9 times out of 10 when there's multiple choice, I'm just coloring things in, okay?
And we don't got time for that. The thing is, doing all of that, and it benefited me absolutely nothing today.
Yeah, because don't piss me off. Okay.
That's another. So we just going. But he hit it right on the nail. That after school expectancy of your favorite shows. I loved it because it was like a lineup. So if you got home in enough time, if you were me, I loved Arthur. Remember I told you on the last one, if I say hey, what a wonderful kind of day. Thank you. Thank you.
Get along with each other. Okay.
We could use that message today. I'm just saying.
I could say a lot of things, but let's go back on to the topic.
Moment of silence for those who don't listen to that message today. So moving forward, I used to love the lineup. So it's like I had Arthur at 3 and 3:30. I probably would miss the 3 o'clock one because, of course, that's around the time when
we get off. Yeah,
school was dismissing.
So.
And then 3:30, I was making it time to watch Arthur. Baby, but then it was the Parkers at 4 and 4:30. And I loved it because they would always give you a 2 episodes layout. So you would, if you missed the new episode last week, you saw that one first, then you saw the new episode at 4:30, and you kept it going. Now, this is when Millennial TV started to pick up. So now this is when we started to get like All of Us.
Oh, yes. My wife and kids.
Girlfriends.
If you know, you know.
That's what I mean when I say that we were watching stuff at times. We didn't have no business looking at that stuff.
No business.
I had no business. And the sad thing is, it wasn't until I kind of got a little older is when I kind of understood a lot of the dark humor or, you know, the innuendos and stuff of those shows. And I was just like, oh my goodness, wow. And that's another thing too. Remember we talked about nostalgia and how it hits you.
Yeah.
And it gets you and it messes with you. One way it messes with you is some of your favorite sitcoms you grew up with.
Yes. Absolutely.
Because when you think about it and you're like 27, 28, 29, a lot of those shows, guess what age group that they were in?
28, 29.
27, 28, 29.
When you realize later on in life that Joan and Maya and everybody from the Girlfriends, Joan was a lawyer by 28. That's insane to me. So being 30 now, it's just like, yikes. Oh my gosh.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, it's really crazy.
That's when it messes with you a lot. It's like you go into your nostalgia bag, you go, oh, look at these shows we grew up on when I was a kid. But then when you realize, oh my gosh, I am the age. Like when I started having kickbacks at my house, dinners where I would invite friends over, we're having wine and dinner and we're talking about the latest and talking about dating and love. And I'm looking at us and I'm like,
that they
this
did.
Is stuff we looked at as kids and look at us now doing that.
It's insane.
Oh my gosh. See, that's a good example of what I mean when I say it messes with you a lot.
Yeah.
Because
it's just a reality. It's a reality check.
It's a reality check. Like, look where we are.
Because you just can't believe that these are people that we watched coming up, And
oh my goodness. And seeing them grow up now and really be
seeing like Tracy Ellis Ross and Golden Brooks and who else? The Wayans brothers.
Martin Lawrence. Recently he's been going on different interviews and stuff, and he's like, it was something he did. Well, he did the last, what is it? Bad Boys.
He did the last.
He did that, but then he also went on tour. He was promoting his tour.
Yeah.
And just seeing him, and I'm like, look at him, just like gracefully start to get older.
Will Smith. Seeing Will Smith be a fool on Instagram. That man run Instagram. It's just hilarious. But seeing seeing the Fresh Prince be like who he is today, like knowing like, bro, like you had one of the best shows in the 90s. Like that's insane. Like, and he's still himself. You know what I mean? Like, such a good time.
I love that.
It's just, but those were really fun times and great moments coming out of school, being anticipated. I think that was the most thing that I loved growing a kid. Like, you know what to expect when you get off.
And you knew it was going to be great every single time.
Every time.
The struggle with the adult life today is you really don't know with a lot of like new shows or songs.
All these shows is boring. I'm not going to say all shows, okay? I'm not going to be a hater, okay? But
it doesn't have the same vernacular and stamina that we came up and had.
The essence is definite. There's a variance in the essence. Like, it's just...
We got an episode coming up for that in season 2. So, we already got it in the notes. Don't worry. We gonna talk. We gonna talk.
We've been talking. Okay?
But what I loved is, and that's just, oh man, when I think of a lot of our culture, music, fashion, movies, television, everything, it was like a domino effect of how great it was in quality, man. Like, it was the norm.
It was
the norm. And what I love is the humble beginnings of a lot of those projects. A lot of these people, they didn't know that they were going to be superstars or that they were going to have shows and things that lived on for over 30, 40 years. They just came to work.
Yeah.
Like everybody else. They just wanted to show that, hey, my gift is worth it. I deserve to be here. And that was it.
Yeah.
But they did so good.
That's such a life lesson, though. Like, knowing that you're supposed to be here.
I'm supposed to be here.
Like, they knew that, whether they thought the show was going to blow up or not.
That's right.
That's such a life lesson.
That is wonderful.
That's good.
That's good. Clocking. We stealing from y'all again, Gen Z. Clocking. Clocking. Well, y'all, we gonna wrap this episode on up. This has been phenomenal. First of all, I know a lot of y'all had a lot of laughter in y'all when y'all saw episode 1, and I was glazing, looking like I was working in a fish kitchen, and then I was doing a fish fry for the church because we want the new bus, and we did that. Yeah. I was glazed, y'all. I told y'all on my Instagram, anybody that follows me, I was glazed and I was shiny and I was very hot. I was extremely nervous, y'all, but man, do I feel so at home.
Yeah.
I feel so good.
Yeah.
This feels good. Shout out to the Philly Podcast Space for giving us freedom and the space to do what we love to do and to share this content with y'all. It's been great thus far. I mean, I know this is only episode 3, but it just feels good.
It does.
I really love that. All right, y'all. We're going to wrap it up now with the pocket therapy. This is the last little couple minutes of the show. So The pocket therapy for today, we wanted to just keep it on the basis of life mantras that we learned from school that we want to actually continue to pass on through today. So one that I thought about is punctuality. I learned in school that punctuality is important. Being on time for certain events, just in anything that you're going to show up to, do your best to always be on time because it also speaks volumes to your character.
Yes.
It's, you know, if you are taking on a certain project or a certain job, or if you're working at a job and, you know, you want people to know and trust that you're reliable and that you're ready to come in and do what you got to do, punctuality will show that. It will display that. So in your life, and even to certain people in this audience that I will not name, show up on time. Yeah. That's right. Yeah.
Love you still.
That's right. That's son. I'm looking at the camera and I'm looking at him. My mother. But yes, to those that if it's something you do struggle with a lot of times, work on it.
Yes.
Do the best you can.
And that's with anything in life, and you know, whether it be an event or whatever, you show up. Okay? Show up for it, show up for yourself.
That's right.
That's good, Dom. Punctuality. I think my pocket therapy for today is perseverance. Right? Never give up on whatever it is that you aspire to do. I'm always going to remind y'all that every single time. Do it. Get up and do it, okay? Because somebody else is doing it, and they're not saying they're going to do it better than you, but they're doing it, and you're not. Yikes.
And our main thing that we say is do it scared.
Do it scared.
Please do. It gets better. It gets
Absolutely.
better. You feel better. You feel empowered. And tenacity is important, especially in our generation.
Yeah, for sure.
You know, tenacity is very important because did you know a report came out, the city of Philadelphia, there are, I think the mass majority of citizens that live here in the city are millennials.
Yeah.
Which is actually kind of sad, too, because when you think of some of Generation X and the baby boomers, that's concerning,
Where y'all at?
Oh. Yeah, that says a lot. But this is why I said on the past couple of podcasts, a lot of the pressure now is on us. We are the ones up. We at the podium in adulthood.
Again, we're the adults now.
We're the adults now, y'all. So they count
so
on
ghetto.
us.
Okay. But here we are.
Thank God for wine.
Thank God for wine.
That's all I got to say.
Because Jesus turned water into, well then, amen. Well then.
All right, we didn't come here to preach this. Okay, we didn't come here to do that. Well, y'all, we want to thank you so much for tuning into this episode of Millennial Therapy. We coming back. This ain't over. We got a really good episode coming up for episode 4. Oh my gosh.
Cannot wait for y'all to see it.
Okay.
And thank y'all for watching.
Yes, thank y'all
took
for
time out of your day
again.
That is so good to me.
Us, the shout outs, the follows to our page. We appreciate it all. Thank you all. And be good. Take care of yourself, millennials. Take care of yourself in all that you do. And we'll see you on the next one. All right. Bye.